Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lord of the Rings Online. This is Gnarlo here. Say hello to everyone, Gnarlo. Good boy. When last we left off, we were here at the throne in Thorin's Hall talking to the great Dwalin himself. And we had shown him the message that we had been given up in Angmar showing what was needed to make a mithril key in order to sneak into the secret ways of Carn Dûm, the old fortress of the Witch King up there. So he has told us that he remembers that when Bilbo was on the adventure to Erebor, the Lonely Mountain before, which, by the way, The Desolation of Smaug comes out today at the video stores and wherever other fine videos are sold and or downloaded, whether that be online or whatever. So be sure and pick it up and watch it. But anyway, back to chapter 5. He knew back when Bilbo was at Erebor, he said he had picked up a nugget of mithril. So he had told us to head and see if he left it in the Matham house, perhaps, with Keeper Brombard Foxtail, or whether he left it with John Brockenbrook over in, perhaps, Archet? Is that what it was? John Brockenbrook? Ah, no, the mithril nugget from the Matham house and the cast key from John Brockenbrook in Archet, where the recent attack that took place on Archet, way back in our introductory scenario, if you remember, back in the first half dozen or so episodes. So that is where we are going to head now. We will go back down out of Thorin's Hall here, past the grand statue of Thorin, and then we will head first over to the Shire and see if we can talk to the keeper there at the Matham house. So that is where we will see you when we return. And we are arriving back in Michael Delving. I could have used my map and came over to the homestead where I have my house and rode over, but in this case it was just as quick and easy just to ride out to the stable master, who was just outside of Thorin's Gate, and get one of the super cheap beginning level rides back over here to the Shire. So let us come on up here to the Matham house, find Mr. Foxtail, and see whether or not he has the lump of mithril left over, hidden away somewhere, perhaps, some funny looking rock or whatever that Bilbo left him, left over from his previous travels. Let's see where he might have done with it.
Hello there.
Hello there, what can I do for you? A mithril nugget? Never heard of it. Oh, you mean that chunk of silver old Bilbo brought back from his adventures. I thought it was too light for real silver. Well, it must have little value then, and I don't see why we should keep it. You're quite welcome to take it. Here. Apparently, he's kept it in his pocket all this time, regardless. All right. So there we go. We have gotten the chunk of mithril. Let's see if it shows up. Yes, indeed. Mithril nugget. A small nugget of mithril originally from Moria. Okay, it must have been a tiny, tiny nugget if they'd let him keep it. Then again, they let him keep an entire shirt of mithril, which was, as you know in the story, worth more than the value of the Shire itself. So what's one more little nugget of mithril on top of that? Okay, so now it's going to be go over to Archet and talk to Jan Brackenbrook. So don't think there's any direct flights to Archet. So let's go up here and let's take a ride to West Bree, and then we'll have to catch the light commuter rail from there, I'm afraid. So off we go again, and we'll see you whenever we're heading into the bounds of Archet. And we are approaching the gates into Archet. The Combe North Gate here. And we are entering into the lands of Archet themselves. The gate here where We fought so long and so hard in the first, dozen or so episodes in order to breach those gates. Probably half dozen episodes in order to breach those gates, get past the Black Home bandits that were holding it against us. Still see in these parts remnants of the battle that took place whenever we were first starting out as a young, tender, wet behind the ears hobbit burglar all those years ago. All those years ago in our aspect, in the aspect of, from the standpoint of ASCII here, it's only been maybe a couple of days. Because as we get closer, you'll notice large parts of the town still have smoke rising up from them, so it's probably only been just a few days since the Battle of ASCII happened. Let's stop here. I've been outrunning graphics like crazy. Let me wait for them to pop back in here. There we go. Took a few seconds. I have been outrunning the graphics like crazy in this game, in this area here lately. This whole trip over from Bree. I don't know if they're saving power by keeping parts of it turned off and turned down while there's no people. There was somebody right out here though killing stuff, so I would imagine ASCII would be loaded. I don't know if it's like, if any of y'all watch any of the stuff from Nano Suit Ninja, where he does the Anno 2070. There was a period of time there about a year and a half ago where he accused Ubisoft of running the Anno servers on a potato because they were so slow and ill-responsive. I don't think we're running on potatoes here, but maybe they have forgot to feed the squirrels. Anyway, as we arrive, you can see the scorched ground in front of the gates into ASCII, and all the scorched and smoke-damaged buildings all about where the battle took place. You see, there are people still sitting about injured after the battle. Said it has only been about a day, maybe 2 days, since the battle happened. Once again, you've got that interesting period, the interesting time changes. See, they're still talking about the brigands, the fact that the way that time flip-flops back and forth throughout the different game regions here. Here you are still way, way early in the whole battle. It's Aragorn has just left to go over to the Shire, has only left a day or two ago to go to the Shire and try and escort Bilbo, Frodo and them, and has hopefully managed to catch them as they were crossing into Bree. So yeah, as far as ASCII is concerned, it is Aragorn and the hobbits are probably still in the Prancing Pony over there. Anyhow, we are not concerning ourselves with that at the moment, because that is far in our past. We are actually looking for Jan Brackenbrook. Let's see where he might be. I imagine we might have passed him. Oh, all these coffins out here from all the dead, still yet to be buried. Jan. Yep, there's Jan over here by the milestone. Let's talk to him and see if he might have one of the keys from the accursed Blackwold bandits.
What do you need?
Greetings, friend. What may I help you with? You say you've come all the way from the Blue Mountains to retrieve that old ruined key we found among the Blackwold's belongings. It is true that it was found among things we believe were Calder Cobb's, which is the only reason I kept it. It's quite useless. Here, may it assist you in your endeavors. Alright, so now we have to bring all those collected materials back to Dwalin. Prologue, burying the dead. I never finished the prologue out here, did I? From the attack. I'll have to come back sometime and help you bury your dead there, my friend. But for now, and there are so many to bury. There's a bad attack on ASCII. For now, unfortunately, though, we will have to leave you and all to it, and we need to head back to Dwalin. So I am going to ride back to Westbury, since there is no mithril trader.
Greetings, friend.
Mithril coins. Oh, okay, I see. So trait, steed of night, fleet-footed. Oh, wow. All right. So mithril coins for all the goats and all. Y'all are really catching them early. I mean, here we are right here at the Hobbit. Here at the Hobbit and the human training zone, beginning zone right here. So y'all are going to catch them right as they graduate and start out in the real world, aren't you? Well played, Turbine, or Warner Brothers more likely. Well played. I know, I'm not going to complain and whinge about the game store and all that, because it's one of the realities of gaming life, at least for right now. I think there may be one day be a backlash against it, I don't know, but we'll see. It all is going to kind of depend on how the Elder Scrolls Online does, I believe. As you know, it's live now, and it's it and what's the other one that just released? WildStar. Don't know if that's released yet or not, but it's like the last two here lately that are subscription based. So we'll see how they do, or whether they are going to go the route that this has gone, with the odd amalgam of subscription and free-to-play, quote-unquote, cash shop stuff. In my personal opinion, and I've said it before, you know, whatever it takes to keep the game running and keep the game healthy, as long as it doesn't get in the way. Now, this can be in your face a little bit. Don't confuse me there, because you know, the LOTRO store, and every time we get a pop-up saying turbine points and stuff like that, it can be in your face a little bit, but it doesn't get in the way of the game, in that, as y'all have seen, I've been perfectly capable of playing the game without having to visit the store. Anything that I've gone and gotten out of the store has been merely for convenience, and like this, whenever I got the Rivendell, I bought the Return to Rivendell at the store for 100 turbine points or something like that. That was merely for convenience, being that it is perfectly capable of either riding there or taking the stables. I just got tired of riding and taking the stables, so that was purely for convenience sake. And I've gotten a couple of horses, which are purely for cosmetic sake. You know, there's nothing so far that has come through there that you have to have. Now, I understand the PvPers and the people that get into the whole monster play stuff. Apparently, if you don't keep up to date with all that kind of stuff, I've heard them complaining about, you know, falling behind, pay to win and all that, but I can't speak to that. That's not a part of the game that I participate in. It's not a part of the game that really interests me. And it's not a part of the game that, you know, was ever intended on really being part of the game. Go back and read the developers' histories and stuff. All the player versus monster player stuff was, the PvP stuff was added in kind of as an afterthought because of a group of people demanding that they add it in. It was a minority, but it was a vocal minority. And they should have, you know, it's alright. I'm not begrudging them what they want either. I mean, people play different game, different area, different ways of playing. I am totally accepting of that.
Greetings.
But it is also a case where it's hard to say that, hard to complain a lot about an issue in the game, a part of the game that was never designed for. It was never designed to be a player versus player game. So yeah, we'll just stop there. Alrighty. It's a subject that I just don't get into because it's not a part that it's not a part that has anything to do with me. Alright, let's take on a ride to Thorin's Gate. We'll hit the quick travel, and we'll see you when we approach Dwalin again. And here we are at Freren's Court. Let's go ahead and load up on our goat. And head up the majestic steps once again. And once again, a fine light snow blowing down. Either coming down from the sky, or perhaps these are some flakes and flurries blowing off at the tops of the hills and the buildings around us. Maybe it's a little bit blowing off at the top of the snow cap in the wind there. All right. See, the dwarf doors are not quite as well hidden this time around. So we'll see if we can't reach Dwalin, give him the key and give him the nugget, and see where he wants to send us off to next. I remember first being here and wondering if this was an echo of what Moria would look like whenever we finally were back in Moria. And sure enough, I mean, Moria does. There's an awful lot of parts of Moria that look a lot like this. But of course, much grander and much richer. Alright, Dwalin. I have brought you the materials you need.
Greetings.
I was right. The hobbits did indeed have Bilbo's nugget. I hope you didn't have to hurt anyone to get it. Foxdale didn't even know what it was. Well, it should be no surprise to me. A hobbit would not truly know precious metals if you gave them a hoard. And I see you retrieved the key from John Brackenbrook. We have all we need. Go now and take these items to Litley by the forge there. He will get started on the key. So bring the collected materials to Litley. Alright. I'm assuming he says by the forge there. Ah, there's a forge up here. I should know there would be a forge right up beside the throne. I mean, what kind of dwarven throne would it be without a forge?
What do you need?
So you're the one Dwalin was talking about. You have the mithril, I see, and that foul key from the Angmarum. All right then, give them here. I'll get started on smelting down that mithril. The problem is that there will be a problem shaping this metal. Perhaps you should speak with Dwalin. I'll set the mithril in the bed of coals over here. There, that won't take long. Now there's still a problem. Shaking mithril isn't an easy task. Tales tell that a special shaping hammer is needed for such fine work as a key. I've no such hammer though, nor have I ever seen one. Best tell Dwalin that if I'm to complete this work for you, I'll need just such a hammer. Go on now, let him know. I knew it wasn't going to be as easy as just getting the blasted key. Of course, you knew that too, didn't you? Alright, so we are still in Chapter 5. What is needed?
What do you want?
A mithril shaping hammer? Bah! I've seen but one of those in my entire life, and I've not seen one since. Oh dear.
Might you lend me an ear?
Alright, so we finished up that little bit and got Balanan. Let's see what it looks like. 33 might, 17 vitality, 318 resistance rating. That might actually be worth replacing my ancient silver necklace with. We'll have to see there. I have to take a closer look at it. Anyway, Chapter 6, Thror's Hammer. To work with mithril, you need a special hammer. So special, in fact, that we only ever had one here in Thorin's Hall. Thror's hammer, the hammer of Thorin's grandfather, which Thrain brought here. Of course, since we never had any mithril to work, we never used it. When most of the Longbeards moved back to the Lonely Mountain, the hammer got left behind, and as an insult to us, I'm sure, the Dour Hands took it, and placed it in Skorgren's tomb as tribute to him. At least that is what one of them told us. We've tried reclaiming that tomb, but it seems cursed. Foul things started lurking in the shadows there. I would say we should just let it lie there, but this task of yours is important enough to warrant opening the tomb again. You'll not find any dwarves willing to go in there, so you'll need to retrieve the hammer yourself. The tomb lies south of here in the Berghold. Oh me, so we're going to have to go to reclaim Thror's hammer from Skorgrim's tomb. Alright. Now, when it comes to Skorgrim's tomb, if we had gone back, see right here, this is Thorin's Hall. You come out, here's Freren's Court. Whenever we rode in over here, you turn to the left, you go to the stables, you go straight to Thorin's Hall. Had we turned right, we would have gone up here to the refuge of Edhelion. This is one of the places where the elves had their first little bit, and if you go on past that, you will end up over here. Skorgrim's tomb is up here in this area, past the elven refuge there. So that is where we are going to have to go. So we will call that an episode there. Oh, let's not hold both of them down, just the one. That is where we are going to go, so we will call that an episode. And next time we get together, we will head far to the eastern part of the Arid Luwian here, and up through the elven refuge that we've not been through before, and we will look for Skorgrim's tomb and see if we can get Thror's hammer back from it, and what kind of foul and evil creatures dwell there now. So we'll see you then. Hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.